President Trump has, for now, backed off his threat to close the border with Mexico to stop the flow of illegal immigration into the U.S. The president's threat to close the border down completely would also stop the nearly $2 billion worth of goods that flow across the border every day. And if the border was closed, more than trade between the two countries would be at stake. Mexico is one of the biggest suppliers of fruits and vegetables to the United States. Mireya Villarreal is in the border city of Donna, Texas.
This is one of the busiest times of year for people working in the produce industry. Holy Week starts tomorrow, and Easter is just 7 days away. Crews at the Grow Farms Texas facility are working around the clock to make sure peppers, avocados, and mangoes are in the stores ready for customers to take home. Everything in this warehouse, run by Tommy Wilkins, is grown in Mexico and shipped across the border by truck.
Today, for us to have enough avocados for Cinco de Mayo, we depend on the production out of Mexico. Right now, we're in peak of harvest. If we did not have the supply out of Mexico, we wouldn't see the guacamole that we have opportunity to consume 52 weeks a year.
$14 billion worth of fresh produce comes into the U.S. every year from Mexico, and half of that comes through Texas ports of entry. The same ports of entry President Trump threatened to shut down a few weeks ago in response to the influx of immigrants illegally crossing the border.
Now, if the border was actually shut down, it would only take about a week for distribution centers like this to lose their supply. And in just 3 weeks, you would see the impact in your stores.
I never changed my mind at all. I may shut it down at some point, but I'd rather do tariffs.
Just last month, Customs and Border Protection reported 92,000 people apprehended crossing illegally, the most in a decade. 8,900 of them were children. To help with the influx, Acting Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kevin McAleenan recently announced he would be shifting resources. Wilkins says they immediately saw the impact.
What has typically been a 5-hour window to cross the border has gone to at least a full day. It's just not the best thing for the commodities that we handle.
So then it does affect the regular person.
It will give them not the freshest product that we would like to offer.
Dante Gagliazzi is the president of the Texas International Produce Association and represents hundreds of farmers, shippers, and distributors in the Lone Star State who are just as worried.
Politics aside, business is business. Trade is there. Without the trade, without the flow, we're going to start talking about job losses, and no one wants to see that. Doesn't matter what side of the aisle you sit on.
U.S. Senator John Cornyn is now asking Acting Secretary McAleenan to make this issue a priority. In a letter he wrote, the diversion of frontline CBP personnel from these ports and the threat of a possible closure in the future threatens to have a debilitating impact on the overall health of Texas's economy. He asked that McAleenan's long-term border strategy keep trade and travel in mind because it affects the flow of goods to the entire nation. Meanwhile, Tommy Wilkins, a man who's made produce his life for over 40 years, is now wading through a political showdown to deliver that produce. And although the solution seems simple, he's not sure everyone will be willing to come to the table.
For the food supply, either there or here, to be used as a political tool is a little discouraging to me. And they're using the produce consumption to battle the immigration issue. Everybody in Washington needs to go to work, agree we have a problem, and fix it. Not use or disrupt the food supply to do that.
For CBS This Morning, Saturday, Mireya Villarreal, Donna, Texas.
Yeah, I think people don't realize how critical that border is to just what we eat.
The individual impact, as you see it, the trickle down, I guess, basically.
And sometimes when it hits you at home, like
that's
in your refrigerator,
yes,
the price suddenly jumps all of a sudden.
You wake up to it.